Hello, it's another High Tide and Vibe with your beautiful host, Lee Russell. That's me. Um, we got one other beer to review. I did two, really late slash really early in the morning yesterday. And yeah, I still had another one to do. I didn't quite do it. So let's get that out of the way. We have Adanac by Two Crows Brewing from here in Nova Scotia, and this is their West Coast Pale Ale. So not an IPA. It's just a pale ale. 5.2% alcohol by volume, 50 IBUs, which is a little high for a pale ale, actually. What did I say here? Anything? Water, barley, wheat, hops, yeast. Contains barley and wheat. No shit. Designed by Midnight Oil. So the can design, which I do like, it's got a nice minimalist, very sleek, sexy kind of can design, color, everything is good. Crisp, hoppy, and citrusy, it says. That's all it says here. Let's go to the website for a quick look. Present. Share screen. Two crows. Share. There we go. A beautiful new West Coast Pale Ale. So apparently this is a new thing for Two Crows, I guess. Yeah, and it pretty much just says all the same stuff. You can get it in singles and 4-packs. What it say you might also like? What else might I like from Two Crows Brewery? Jamboree, strawberry guava. I probably would not be too keen on that. Amber Horizons Vienna Lager. I probably definitely would like. What in Tarnation New England IPA. I definitely probably would not like. Jamboree Blackberry and Apricot, maybe. And Yuzu Hop Water, probably not. Probably a waste of my time. But I have had this beer before. I had it for the first time yesterday, or well, actually the day before yesterday at this point, on Wednesday. So I already know this beer is not a waste of my time, but let's do an actual review of it. So let's pour this fucker. Oh, look at that. Just, years of beer tube expertise have taught me how to do the perfect pour every time. I'm basically a Cicerone. I mean, come on. Basically a Cicerone. Should be a beer judge, of course. Yeah, no, whatever. So it's got, there's light coming from like my TV/monitor here. That's why these always look brighter on the screen. This it looks like a sunburst orange, kind of like it looks like the sun. It looks like a tequila sunset kind of thing, or tequila sunrise kind of thing going on. Where it's really a like a golden amber in color. Decent little head staying on there. So let's go to the aroma. And of course, this is West Coast in style. It's supposed to be a pale ale that's West Coast in style. Oh, we have Movie Melt Podcast. How many could you drink without passing out or getting arrested? Matthew, I don't know if I can answer that question anymore. The last time I drank too much and got arrested was a good 15 to 20 years ago. Although I didn't pass out. So that was the thing. I could hold my liquor back in the day. Maybe not so much now. Maybe it'd be like 6 or 7, and then I'd be fucked. And he says, looks like delicious piss. I hope you're doing well, sir. Saw a recent picture of you with your daughter, and you've mentioned you've had some weight loss in the last little while, and you're looking pretty trim, pretty sharp, sir. Pretty sharp. He says, I love you. Well, thank you very much. I love you back, brother. All right, let's go to the aroma. So, yeah. got to keep in mind West Coast style, but not in an IPA. So it's got the same sort of hop aromas, just not as pungent. You got a little bit of pine, a little bit of grapefruit. There's a little teeny bit of like caramel maltiness coming up in this, but it's not like, what the real hardcore beer nerds would say. There's no like dank cat piss smell going on or anything like that. It's definitely not that. Matt says you're playing your cards right, so let's cyber when you're done and feeling loose. Only if we play Uno. Yeah. Have you ever done cyber sex with an Uno deck? It's amazing. So yeah, very much the classic notes you come to expect from this sort of thing. When they say West Coast, you kind of expect like a lot of pine, a lot of grapefruit, maybe a little bit of like a caramel malt base coming up. Very simple, very to the point, and this does it just lesser so because it's only a pale ale. It's not a big alcoholic IPA. Taste. Cheers. Yeah. It's like they took a West Coast style IPA that would be at like 6 to 7% alcohol by volume and just chopped it in half flavor wise. Get all the notes from the nose, transfer directly right to the actual taste. Starts off with this big pine kind of taste, immediately finishes with grapefruit bitterness, but the bitterness is super mild on this. Like this is just very accessible and drinkable. It's not one of those, oh, it's so hoppy, it's going to kill my palate kind of things. It's very manageable, especially for people who are not as into craft beers. And it's good. Body's upper light bodied, I'd say, to medium. It's got all the flavors you want. Although, again, real hardcore beer nerds might want the cat piss. They might want the cat piss aroma. They might want the cat piss taste from Simcoe hops. I don't think this has Simcoe in it. So if it does, I'm not detecting it. Let's put it that way. And I'm okay with that. I don't need the cat piss. Believe me, I'm not a fan of cat piss. My late cat pissed all over our basement, and we're still trying to get the smell out. A lingering reminder of our lovely cat Millie, who passed a few months back. She left us a present, and it was a very smelly one. But we're not getting that in this beer. No, we're just getting like you're climbing a pine tree as a kid, and you step on one of those branches that's a little too bendy, a little too weak, and you go sliding down the fucking tree, eating every goddamn branch on the way, getting pine gum in your fucking clothes and your hair. That's on the palate here. And then the grapefruit. Imagine you go back home and you have a big glass of grapefruit juice. I find that's probably a lot less likely to happen if you were a kid who was climbing pine trees, as and endangering your life, which I used to do back when I was a kid, some 60 years ago. And I definitely wasn't drinking grapefruit juice afterwards. I was getting me some chocolate milk, bitch, or something like that. But yeah, no, this is excellent. Style wise, is a pale ale, basically. They say West Coast pale ale, so I'll sort of keep that in mind. I don't go strict with like style definitions necessarily, but it does all the West Coast stuff, and it's an excellent pale ale. I got to give it like a 9 for style. There's maybe slight room for improvement, but you're probably not going to see it. all that often. My own personal preference, 8.5. Definitely will be drinking it again. Definitely will be buying it again. Someone hands it to me, I'll say, "Thank you, sir. I will drink that beer." I'll not just go, "Okay, I'll have it." It'll be like, "Thank you, sir, for thinking of me." Or "Thank you, madam, for thinking of me." Perhaps a lovely lady would hand me a can of Adanac from Two Crows. And I'd say, "Ma'am, you are a scholar. You are a liberated woman. You are amazing. And thank you for handing me this can of fine beverage from Two Crows." By the way, Adanac, Canada backwards, spelled backwards. I think there's like an Adanac ski resort in Ontario or something. So I don't think that's what they're referring to here. They're just, hey, let's put Canada backwards and make it look cool on the can. And they accomplished it. It looks good. And the beer is good. And that's all that fucking matters. And yeah, I think I'm done. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Matt. Just like randomly popped into this chat. I don't think he's ever popped into one of my beer reviews. He's much more of a movie-centered fellow. Check out the Movie Melt podcast if you are so inclined to see an excellent, not just like a really podcast, more a radio show, a radio program in the modern age, a variety show, maybe, where they do talk about a movie, but they play games and they have other segments and they crack a lot of jokes. And Matt uses his soundboard badly and often abuses his guests with his soundboard to comedic effect. And sometimes people call in and leave voice messages like Michael Caine. He leaves a message every once in a while. Michael Caine will leave a message on the Movie Melt podcast. But yes, check that out. Movie Melt podcast. Yeah, I'm out of here. Goodbye. Have a good night, day, whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck. Whatever situation you're in. If you're in the Phantom Zone with fucking General Zod and Ursa and I can't remember the name of the big dude. But if you're there, at least enjoy your time. Know you're going to escape and go to Earth, to planet Houston, and you're going to get it on with Superman.